and gentlemen, we knew Halloween was going to end, but we never could have predicted it was going to end like this. Welcome to Nerdy for 30, the show where we talk about nerdy-ish things for 30-ish minutes. My name is Kevin Bauer. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, comedian Tim Keck. We're talking about Halloweenians today, and we have a very special guest with us. You can't talk about Halloween without her. She is the absolute biggest fan of Halloween that I know. She was on last year. You know her. You love her. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachelle McKinney. Rachelle, thank you so much for being here.
Yay!
For having me again. I'm really excited. Wow. That's all I gotta say with this one. Yeah.
I will say it is impressive that you were on here to talk about the last Halloween movie, and it was like only a year ago. That's pretty cool. To say the least, I mean, they didn't spend any time like rewriting things or like editing or making sure the acting was good. They had a deadline to hit and they hit it. They knocked it out of the park. They were like, we can't go too long without having Rachelle on the pod again. We know those Nerdy for 30 boys need it. Let's get this out of there. And it felt like that. That's what it felt like.
Good old fashioned clock in, clock out movie making. Rachelle,
yeah, that's seriously, yeah.
I gotta say, I was thinking about you the entire time we were watching this because I was so sad that this was happening to you.
Okay, I have a hot take. I liked it better than last year's.
Ooh,
really?
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
I did like it better than last year's. I don't know why, but I did.
Just a general vibe. You're just picking up on like a general.
Yeah, just a general vibe. I liked the way that the killings were done more. I liked the whole like having like a predecessor possibly happening, but then him end up dying was pretty cool. I liked that they kind of dipped into like Halloween season of the witch vibes with like Michael Myers kind of possessing Corey a little bit.
Right.
That was cool, kind of. But everything else sucked. That was it. That's all I liked. But everything else.
I didn't watch the original Halloweens, but I heard they were kind of mirroring like the third Halloween with like his kind of like predecessor. And I think that was like a conscious choice that they made. One of many, incorrect conscious choices they made, but it definitely felt like, oh, that was an effort. They're emulating this from something, but I don't know. What did you think about how much Michael Myers was actually in the movie?
I didn't like that. No, I thought that sucked. Like when the scene where Corey went to Allison's coworker's house with the doctor, and like Michael Myers comes in that part, I thought that's how the rest of the movie was going to be. Like he was going to just show up when like they were tag teaming it. Right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought was going to end up happening. But then the radio station scene happened and I was like, what is going on? I was like, what is going on here? Also, that scene was so gross. We were watching it and Danny was like, is Kevin going to be able to watch this?
I will completely cop to not closing. I had my hand over my eyes for a little bit of that scene. And I was like, I need to not have my hand over my eyes for this because I need to see, like, that's kind of the point of slasher movies. You both know slasher movies are not my bag. I think, again, you two are probably the biggest fans of slashers that I know. It's just a different breed of horror from what I like. But in this case, for these movies, like that is part of the whole deal, right? It's like the inventiveness of the kills, like you mentioned, like the kills in this were more creative than the kills in Halloween Kills. And I think you're dead on. I completely agree. Like they definitely got very creative with this. For as much as I hate Corey as a character,
me too.
He brought something fresh to it. But man, they got gross.
Yeah, so I have a few. I want to give my thoughts on Allison and Corey.
I've got so many thoughts. I've got one thought on Allison and Corey.
Should I just go ahead and put the beef theme in there?
Yeah, play the beefs.
I think you're a thief.
Oh, no. Wrong.
Oh,
wrong
no.
Sound cue.
That was a huge
Wrong
fuck up,
sound
Kev.
cue.
Where's the beef?
There it is.
Hover over that thing for the next 30 minutes, will you? Don't get too far away from that sound bite, Kev.
So I took notes while I was watching this, and the first interaction between Corey and Allison, I wrote, Allison and Corey interaction was real intense and oddly sexual. I might not get it, but wowza. Like it was.
It got a wowza?
Wowza. It was weird. It was so weird. Like their first just meeting each other was so intense. And I was like, there's no room to build from here. And I was like, some crazy stuff's about to happen because she is horned up out of her mind. She is thirsty. Get this girl drink. And all the flirting in this is like people are pitching 100 miles an hour. Every pickup line is like fast and quick, and everybody likes them. They're spitting orange when you got to see the cherry blossoms. Wow, tell me about the cherry blossoms. It's like so fucking crazy. Just about the cherry blossoms. I mean, the general vibe in our theater, because we saw it together, people were laughing at this movie the whole time. People were making fun of this movie the whole time. Yeah. It was not the reaction they must have wanted from this. And there was a moment at the end of the movie where she's writing in her book and she goes like, now I got to choose between, revenge and cherry blossoms. And I was like, no one reading your book is going to know what that means. That is a reference to a small conversation you had in real life. Yeah.
Did you describe the cherry blossoms in your book, or are you just going to end this book on this weird ass cherry blossoms reference, or everyone's like, okay, didn't see that coming, but sure. Yeah.
I think that's one of those things where it's like, it's a movie. It's a movie. So you kind of just assume everyone knows what she's talking about. For those moments.
There was a big part of me that legitimately thought. There's a big part of me that legitimately thought that this movie was going to end with Jamie Lee Curtis in Japan. Like cherry blossoms falling down around her in slow motion. Oh, for sure. I can't think of anything that would be less in this universe. It's off the rails. Like, my God. Did you pick up on any actual chemistry between Allison and Corey? Did you think they had any chemistry as actors?
No.
Thank you.
It felt very forced and very uncomfortable. I think that's why it felt so intense, is because it felt like they didn't want to be in the room together. But the way that they were talking to each other was like they're about to go into like one of these on-call rooms and like start screwing or something. Like that's what it felt like.
It's insane. I mean, I wasn't even attributing it to chemistry as much as just like awful writing and just like deadpan delivery. Like maybe the actors of chemistry, we have no idea, because they're both like talking to someone who's not there, like they're not even looking at each other's eyes. They're just saying insane shit to each other, and they're madly in love and ready to run away. I think in 2 days, Kevin, was that what the 2 nights?
I think it was 2 nights. It was crazy. So that was one of the things too that I was talking about with Lauren when we were walking home afterwards, was it was like her reaction when she first sees him in that hospital room is as if it's like this guy is smoking hot. Like it's as though she's seen the hottest guy in the world. And I'm sure this actor, if you clean him up, I'm sure for the red carpet for this movie, he looked real handsome. He's got a stylist working on him. The character in this movie, in that scene, looked like shit. This man looked wet. He looked tired. His bags had bags under his eyes.
His bags and bags on bags under his eyes.
He had the general demeanor of a serial killer already.
Also, Corey's mom.
Awful.
And then his stepdad in the bed. I really liked it when that happened. When his mom was like insanely crazy, and then it panned to his stepdad sitting in the chair being like, I really hope things work out for you.
Stepdad was great. Stepdad was great.
The stepdad can do better. I'll say it. He's a nice guy, he's got his own business. He can find a lady that doesn't yell and abuse everyone in her immediate vicinity.
Yeah. For sure. Definitely. What did you think about the intro?
Oh,
What are your first thoughts without before you watch the rest of the movie? Like, how did you what were your initial thoughts of like how you thought it was going to tie in? I'm very curious.
I had two thoughts. One, this is insane. And two, why isn't Michael Myers here?
Right?
So, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it's one of the wildest things I've ever seen in a horror movie.
Yeah.
But also, that's not the movie I signed up for.
Exactly. I mean, they were like talking about him at least. And
Yeah.
I guess
we're talking about him now. That doesn't mean that he's like,
Yeah.
That's not the movie, though. I want the movie. I want to see
it's not.
a guy in a mask, an inhuman, possibly human. Do we even know? I want an enigmatic figure murdering people, and they couldn't do it. I mean, the beginning is crazy. It is crazy. It's probably the best part of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very effective. Like it happened, and I was literally like jaw dropped to the ground like chalk.
Yeah, I think there needs to be like a whole separate subgenre for this style of like audience shock, because it took me right back to when I saw Hereditary, and when I saw him pushing up against the door in this movie, and I remembered what the layout was and the fact the kid was outside, I was like, all right, it's going to be one of these. Okay, cool.
Did you really?
Like, oh, as soon as he was walking up the stairs, I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, I bet we're getting one of those. We're getting a kid dies shock in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And then as soon as it happened, I feel like it was an effective thesis statement for this movie saying, this is not going to be for you, Kevin.
This isn't going to be for anyone who bought a ticket to this. This is just a general movie, I guess. It's not a Halloween movie as far as I can tell.
Oh, it's so weird too. When he was in the attic, I thought for a split second when he was locked up there that I saw the Michael Myers mask in the background. I think it ended up just being a lamp or something. But for a split second, I thought I saw it there. And then after the kid got knocked over the railing, how funny would it be if Michael Myers was there, but then that happened and he was like, oh, I don't want any part of this. Just backs out slowly. Homer Simpson into the bushes.
Yeah, it feels like that. You see that like TikTok trend where it's like Mike Myers in the closet and he's like listening to the couple, but they're just having a massive fight and he's just like, and just like stays in there. It reminds me of that where he's like, I'm going to kill some people. And that kid falls over the thing in the most horrific way possible. And he's like, oh, I can't, I'm going to get out of here. That was a little rough even for me. Yeah, because they kind of tease you. They're like, Michael Myers could show up at any moment, but they're also teasing you like, oh, this could be a good movie. And then this could be what you wanted. Michael Myers could show up and then he doesn't. And it's like, oh, okay. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of the character. I feel like, I heard just while I'm thinking about this, remember hearing a rumor about this movie. It was either this movie or like this or the sequel where apparently they shot scenes where like Michael Myers talks in this that they ended up cutting out, and they filmed them, and then afterwards somebody watched and was like, what the fuck is going on? But like the second I heard that, I'm like, the fact that they even filmed that anyone at any point in this process thought something like that was the right move for Michael Myers just is just a general misunderstanding of the character. You're like, they just have no grasp of what this character is after the first one.
That's the crazy thing, though, is like the people that have been working on this franchise, like since they rebooted it, are the same people that did the original. So that's why I'm like, the character, you understand the essence of what Halloween and Michael Myers is supposed to be. Like, you were there when John Carpenter, like you were there, like all of you were. So like, I don't understand how from 2018, which was an amazing movie, it was so good, to the last two being as bad as they were. Like, the one last year was just too much gore. It was just messy. And then this one was just like, it felt very much like Season of the Witch. And I don't know, I don't know if that's what they were trying to do. Season of the Witch is the third movie. And it has no ties to any of the original like storyline at all. So that's why I was like, this feels a lot like this. I don't know if that's what they were going for or not.
Yeah, the rumors I heard was that they knew about that. And so they mapped it on that. They wanted an homage for it. They also knew that everybody hated the last one.
Oh,
And so then I guess they all knew that and then did nothing about it. And because I heard they did like screenings and things with Halloween Ends, and pretty much every criticism we're going to have, people told them like, this isn't shocking stuff. Like the fact that Allison was like horned up and that their relationship isn't believable in any way whatsoever. Yeah. They knew this.
It was not.
And they just either didn't do it or there was nothing they could do. But like none of this is like groundbreaking. Like if anybody watches this movie, they would make those comments. So it's just shocking that they just it's I don't know. The more I've like heard about this movie and like the process, it's kind of just shocking that they kept going and then just put this out there.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would have leaned into like the comedy of it really like a lot harder and made it more campy than trying to make it like scary. Because there were some pretty funny moments. My favorite, I think, was when Allison goes to Corey's house and knocks on the door after it's revealed that he killed his mom. And then she sends him a "you good" text. Yeah.
You good text got me so good. Oh my God, that was so funny.
Do you think if you lived in a universe where the people in your immediate circle were being stalked by a serial killer, you would ever send a "you good" text ever again?
Yeah.
You up?
No.
It's full, like it's 100% full contact tracing, like tracking of where all your friends are at all times. Oh my God.
That was so funny.
I think the funniest moment to me in the actual movie was probably the shots of them on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
It was like bad Drive. It was like if Drive was an incredibly shitty movie. It
was incredible.
In the theater, the funniest thing that generally happened. So Tim mentioned that people were laughing, but I do want to give the important caveat that in the first half of the movie, the different groups in the theater were all kind of like trying to be kind of respectful with their laughter and not be too loud about it. But then at a certain point, the floodgates opened when they do at one point, they show a title card after like a big moment happens. And the title card says October 31st. And Tim goes, "What day was it?" And the entire place went nuts. Just went nuts. And then from that point forward, it was just everybody laughing completely open. It was wonderful. It's the most connected I've felt to a crowd in a long time in a movie.
That was a big
Good
connection.
job. Good job.
My favorite line that she has that I think got a laugh in our theater was when he's like asking her like, "Oh, all these terrible things have happened to you in this town. Why don't you move?" And she just goes, "All my memories are here." And then they just like move on to something else. And we were all sitting there like, yeah, all your bad memories are here. Yeah.
Your whole
when that psycho killed your mom. Remember when that psycho murdered a bunch of people? You know how you're forever connected to this town? You know how
people keep coming up to your grandmother being like, "You're the reason why my whole family's dead," and you being like, "You're the whole reason why my family's dead." You know how every single problem you have would be solved by moving? Yeah. Let's just not do that. And then she moves at the end. Yeah. Yeah. It was too much. She had. Oh, so funny. So out of touch. I didn't like how everyone was blaming Lori for everything. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you people? This poor woman has been stalked by this man for over a century now, and you're blaming her? Like, you're blaming her for this? It was really weird. Yeah. Yeah. Another bit of gossip I heard was that the director hated Jamie Lee Curtis. Not as like a human being, but as like an actor, and just like didn't like her at all and would have cut her out of the movie if he could. He just like wanted no part of that. What? Yeah, which is crazy because she's clearly the best part. But then as soon as they cut to her. Like all this time is spent on Allison and this kid. Like he clearly wants nothing to do with Jamie Lee Curtis's character in this movie at all. Like she doesn't do anything. The best parts were with Jamie. The best parts were with Jamie. Yeah. Yeah, she's the main character.
She's like, you're
Yeah.
It's crazy.
She's a badass.
Yeah.
I love her lines and stuff that she delivers them really great. The saddest moment was when she had that really intense interaction in the grocery store with the cop. I always forget his name.
Yes.
The older cop.
Is it
And then
Frank?
walks
Will
out.
Patton, Deputy Frank or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then walks out and she's smiling. And this woman's just like, oh, you're smiling and you're happy?
Oh,
My sister can't talk because of you, because you tormented and taunted this man. And I'm like, and that's when I was like, what is happening right now?
that's the worst part of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like the worst part of the last movie was when Mike Myers just goes into a house and just tortures this very sweet older couple that wasn't doing anything wrong. And it's brutal and it's horrifying. And she he stabs her in the neck with like a tube and she's like bleeding out watching him torture her husband. And then she's still alive. Like, let the woman go. Why do you keep doing this? Apparently she was in all 3 movies too. I didn't remember she was in the first one. So I guess they just wanted the sweet feeling of a trilogy, but seeing her alive was like brutal.
It's way worse.
It hurts so bad.
It's way worse. And I think that moment, I think all the people being mad at Laurie, I think that was supposed to be commentary on victim blaming because they've been very vocal.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you can't, it's like this most insane thing happened. Like there has to be a logical reason. You have to push the blame on someone, and the logical answer doesn't make sense. Like one of those type of situations, I guess. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah. But in this, I feel like in this specific context with these specific situations, the analogy breaks down a little bit. Like all of the things feel like real reaches for people blaming him. And like, I know that that's one of the common things that I've heard. I've listened to a few other shows about like diving into the original Halloween. And I know I've heard a couple people that have like posited that part of it was like, oh, he was trying to make it a little bit because it's about Laurie's sexual frustration. Like she's kind of flirting with the killer. And to me, that feels like a terrible read of that movie.
No,
absolutely do not support it.
Nope.
Wow.
No.
But I was wondering if that was kind of them trying to play into that too. And it is.
I think so. Because when Corey was like, you felt the same thing when he looked into your eyes the first time too. Like you love this cat and mouse game that you guys play. And she got pissed because that's not true. She's horrified. She wants it to be done and over with.
Yeah. There was some weird
putting Michael Myers through a meat grinder or a metal crusher thing.
I've got great gossip about the meat grinder.
Liked it.
Loved that.
Oh,
I loved it.
I did too. That honestly, that was gonna be.
I loved it.
Gotta say,
I loved the whole mob thing coming together. Them strapping him on top of the car, driving him to the shop yard, which also was just on fire, so I don't know how that happened.
So wouldn't there be like bodies of the kids that got killed strewn around there? The bodies can wait. We got to put this man in a grinder.
It was brutal. Okay, I have killer gossip on this that Kevin, I know you will love. Yes. So that was the ending, from what I've heard, is like a reshoot. So it was just going to end with him bleeding out on the table, and they were like, "This doesn't work. We have to do this reshoot." And the thing that inspired the reshoot was this is a rumor. Who knows how real this is, but the rumor I heard is that the director went to go see Top Gun Maverick. And he loved the fact that people were excited about it and cheering about it. And like, it was uplifting. And he's like, that's what this movie needs. It needs a moment when people in the theater cheer. And so that's what he was like. That's like the energy he was trying to put into the grinder scene at the end, which is like, I guess these delusional people making this movie are thinking like people at the end are going to be like, yeah, finally, they got him. Woo, good. We don't get to see that guy anymore. You know, like we're all going to be pumped about it. And I mean, I guess I was I want to hear more about what you guys actually liked about it. But it was was it that Top Gun Maverick, the moment that he was chasing? Were you punching the air with success?
I don't think it was that intense. I kind of wish it was, I liked the mob thing because they did the mob thing in the last movie and they did that really bad. I didn't like the way they did
that. Was scary mob stuff.
They did it really well this time, I feel like. I don't know. I also kind of wanted I wanted to see Laurie chop his fucking head off. I wanted to see that so bad. Like I really did, and it didn't happen, and I wanted to see it. Just take an axe and just chop his
It does kind of feel like that's an extension of what she would have done. Like that was something that I dug about the table scene is that they were like, we're doing both wrists. We're doing the neck. This man is not coming back. Like it's like when you lock every single thing and then put a chair up against the door and then I will say, I do think the one piece of Top Gun Maverick energy they captured is my thief for the entire movie.
I think you're a thief.
Oh, man.
It's the line where I think he's the mayor with the cowboy hat, gets out of the car. And when they're strapping Michael to the roof, somebody's like, this isn't how we do things. And the camera gets real close on his face and he goes, it is tonight. Fucking amazing. Amazing. That's the same we were talking about in Top Gun Maverick. My favorite line is the John Hamm line where he's like, God damn it, Maverick. I don't know whether to dishonorably discharge you or give you a promotion.
I don't know if I need to kick you out or make you the leader of this squad. It was like they were going for that. That was like what they were chasing.
They were. I liked the build up.
Yeah.
At the end, I loved the ruse of Laurie almost killed was going. I honestly thought she was gonna kill herself or something, but I thought the cop was gonna come and stop her. I genuinely thought that, but it was fake, and they did a really good job, I think, with that. I liked all the callbacks, like Laurie in the closet, classic. The knitting needle in the throat,
yes,
classic. The face of Michael Myers and the knife when he was on the table, where she brought it up and made himself look at himself. Oh, so good. I loved that. Yeah. I don't know. I like this one better than the last one. Still bad. It was still really bad.
Yeah. So I got one more big thing that I want to drop into the discussion here. Would you be excited if they keep going with the Halloween franchise, but from now on, I keep forgetting if his name is Cody or Corey. Corey?
Yeah, who cares?
If they keep going and it's Corey now.
No. I didn't like him as Michael. He was actually, I have it. Where's it at? I have this in my notes. This is my exact thought. I was like, Corey is not a Michael Myers. He's just a fucking psychopath. He doesn't have that essence of boogeyman, I'm gonna get you type vibe. It's oh, he's just a predator and he's gonna stalk me, serial killer vibe more than boogeyman, creepy, lurk in the night monster guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah.
So this is maybe this is my thief, Kevin. It's buried in a pile of beefs, but I liked him wearing the scarecrow mask and killing people. You mentioned that earlier of them tag teaming the house together. Awesome.
Yeah.
I thought for sure this was going to become like a cult of Michael Myers, where he's this mythical figure and people start worshiping him and because there was the scene early on with Michael Myers' first kill in the movie where the kid Corey brings him a person and he's and Michael Myers is weak and it's very depressing because you just want to see I just want to see this guy be a badass. I don't want to see him be humanized and too weak to stab somebody. And he starts stabbing and then he looks like he stands up straighter. He's empowered by it. And so I was thinking this guy gets stronger when he kills people. He just needs to kill enough people so that he can go on a big rampage again and be back to Michael Myers. So this kid is just going to keep bringing him victims and he'll keep stabbing them.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And while that's going on, he's recruiting people. And so now, we don't need a new Michael Myers. We need a new person in a different mask. We just need people with different. Yeah. And get a bunch of Robins, get a group of people who are perverted, like perverting his ideology or whatever it is, like this guy, you're right, is like a cheap imitation of Michael Myers, but I understand why he worships him, Yeah,
no, I get it too. I liked that about him, but I didn't like when he took his mask off his head, it pissed me off so much. I was like, there is no way in hell that Michael Myers would allow this boy to take off his mask. There's no way.
So
that
awful.
would happen.
Oh, it was so shitty.
I was mad.
Yeah.
I was literally sitting on my couch. I was like, that wouldn't happen. Like, what? I was
it's so dumb.
Ugh.
I think they were going for something. There's like a moment when they look in each other's eyes, and I guess I heard this too. There's one where he grabs his neck. And apparently before there was kind of a flirtatious thing that they cut out where he's but they're looking into each other's eyes. And apparently that's supposed to be Michael Myers, passing his thing to this kid, which I'm not sure I really picked up on when I was watching it, but he gave him this thing. And then I think an interpretation of their battle is Mike Myers letting him take the mask and trying to do a passing of the torch. But I was
that's not how that worked though, because he was fighting him for it. It would have made more sense if Michael took off it.
That's what I'm saying.
Himself.
How crazy would it be if he gave the kid the mask?
Yeah, that would have been way better.
Well, but also I don't from a narrative standpoint, I don't like the idea that Michael Myers' personality is like an infection you can come down with, because then just look at the difference in motivation. You're a zombie then instead of someone that is having the urge to do these things and look up to this person because of something in your personality. It removes the internal motivation.
That's why I think they were really pulling off of Season of the Witch vibes, because that's very much that type of feel that Michael Myers is a curse. It's not, that's why it's called the curse of Michael Myers. It's more of a curse than it is a thing. Because when that scene happened, I wrote, "Can he see inside people's souls now?"
Yeah.
A flash, a montage of all of the horrifying things he'd been through up to that point.
Michael Myers has The Shining confirmed. I think it's really interesting that you both were describing it as a Batman and Robin situation. Super ironic that what you're describing is basically Todd Phillips' Joker movie, where this person goes on a rampage and then gets a lot of people idealizing them. And it was interesting to see. I prefer to keep my personal interpretation of this movie. I'm going to willfully ignore the Michael Myers psychic virus side of it and just pretend that it's entirely driven by Corey's own motivations, because I think it taps into this larger tapestry that we're seeing of people framing incels as, well, not really framing, just showing incels as villains in different contexts. She-Hulk had a similar thing. Big time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Which is crazy because women are throwing themselves at him. It doesn't make any
he killed someone and then went to Allison's house and was like, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I need help." And then I was like, that is such a picky incel. I was like, what is this? Ugh.
Why? I know Allison says why she didn't move. Why the fuck didn't Corey move?
I don't know. I forget. He says why, but I don't remember.
Well, he's broke.
I have to watch it again. Yeah.
His stepdad's the only guy who will employ him,
Yeah.
He's just kind of,
because he does have he has a felony on his record.
I mean, I guess so, but there's all kinds of places where it's it's a muffin shop and they exclusively employ felons. Is an opportunity to give people a second chance. This dude could have been working in a muffin shop the whole time.
Those types of jobs are usually for non-violent crimes. It depends on what type of federal offense you've made.
Yeah. But even the cops are I feel bad for him, Like,
yeah, I know. He's such a good kid. He just had a bad thing that happened
Right.
to him. But he was being very violent when stuck behind that door. He was literally screaming at the child that he was going to kill him when he was stuck behind the door.
Yeah.
yeah,
Something seemed off about him.
crazy.
He was
Yeah.
being very violent.
Yeah, and he was showing this kid the thing.
Yeah, after like his mom was like, please don't do this. Like, please do not show my child a horror movie. Like, I don't want to deal with it. And he's like, oh, we're going to have fun. That was a creepy line too. When he said that, and that creeped me out. I was like, not in a good way either. I was like, oh God,
Yeah.
no.
I think I'd like to see that actor again in something else that could be good.
Yeah,
Because
I think so. I think, yeah.
that's some real range. Honestly, when he's hanging out with the kid, I'm like, oh, this is just like a goofy, nice guy. And I'm like, something crazy is going to happen. But then he like makes that turn, like I mean, it was pretty crazy. It's pretty impressive that he was able to do that, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a movie.
How did you feel about the recap at the beginning?
Oh,
Like they did all of the flashbacks to like the old movies and like did like before you found out that Laurie was writing a movie, like Jamie Lee Curtis speaking over top of like the flashback thing. I don't know.
hated it.
I don't think you need it.
That's it.
You don't need it at all. They're just trying to make it feel like the finale of something.
Yeah.
But they're also, the movie is about setting up the way that it could not be the finale, you know?
Yeah.
And to touch on that, like, Joker thing you were just talking about, Kev, was like, I think the way you explore these kinds of characters and these kind of insane, like, horror creatures is not by like delving deeper into the psyche of the creature, but delving deeper into the psyche of the people around the creature and the people affected by his presence. You know,
Yeah.
it's a disaster movie. You know, it's like a tornado. You're not like, oh, where did this tornado come from? You're like, how are these people going to respond to this thing happening to them?
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
are they
Bill
going to become
Paxton.
like worshipers? Yes, Bill
He looks
Paxton going
too
to show up and
deeply
fight
into the
it.
Twister. Now he's a Twister.
That was my favorite part of Twister.
Exactly.
Because they had all the scenes of Bill Paxton growing up, but then they also had like the scenes of the tornado growing up, and it was like the clouds coming together and like a little wisp of wind and like a leaf blowing, and then that was beautiful. That was my favorite part for sure. Okay, we should probably wrap it up. Any other hot takes to fire off, Rachelle? Any last minute comments? Overall feeling on the movie?
Out of 10, I would give it a 4.
Solid 4. Respectable 4. Kevin, what on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving this?
I'm giving this probably a 2, maybe a 3, but it's tough because we had to watch The Munsters a few weeks ago, and a Munsters is a 0 out of 10.
Right.
So my bar got reset.
See, I think a 1 or a 2 seems appropriate because Munsters is like negative for me. You know, like this wasn't unwatchable completely, but it was close. It was close, but it wasn't completely unwatchable. But how high a score can you give to something that I will probably never watch again?
Yeah.
So, and I rewatched the first 2. They were fine. I don't think I'll ever see this again. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Oh boy. Well, Shell, thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
We love you.
Thank you so
we
much for
appreciate
having
you
me,
doing
guys.
the pod. If they ever drop another Halloween, you're our first call.
We'll get you next year.
Yeah, whatever shows up. What do you think? Here's a question for the closing credits music. If they're not going to call it Halloween, what do you think the Corey franchise would be titled?
The Scarecrow? I don't know.
I could see Scarecrow.
Scarecrow?
Something
good.
like that. I don't know.
The Accident or something like
Yeah.
that. Well, it's just him getting unlucky and just murdering a bunch of children accidentally.
It'd probably be called like the 31st.
Oh,
Ooh.
Something like that.
That's actually-
instead of Halloween.
that's sick. I'd see that.
Yeah.
31st is cool.
I'm ready to
and
go
then
it
it's
again.
about the 31st kid he tries to kill.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. This has been Nerdy for 30. Go ahead, rate us 5 stars, wherever your podcasts are sold. Shoot us an email, nerdy430@gmail.com. Rachelle, do you have anything you want to plug?
No, I don't. Not right now.
Nothing
no.
to plug. Taking a break from the internet. That's great. We should all do that. Tune in next time. We'll be back here with Black Adam. Till then, everybody, stay nerdy. Bye.
Stay nerdy. Bye.